So we are back here, and now we are going to talk about the second component of the living world, and that is about the taxonomic categories. Previously we have told you about the biodiversity categories or the taxa, and second thing what we have seen there, we have seen there one more important thing. What was that? That what was the binomial nomenclature, okay, and this binomial nomenclature, what rules and regulations were there, okay. So now we are going to start with what? The taxonomic categories, okay. So let us discuss about those taxonomic categories. As you know that these taxonomic categories, we have already given you that these categories, we were categorizing the specific species into various taxa, okay. So one of the categories that we are going to discuss here, that will start from the unit of it, okay. Now first of all, before starting that, we are going to talk about this, what this taxa and taxon is, okay. Taxa we have already seen there, but here the taxon, okay. Actually this taxon and taxa, once in a very long time back when there was this type of questions, but now these are not the questions of a NEET, but the taxon and the taxa, actually this taxa word, that is plural, okay, means when there are many categories, and taxon represent what? The singular one, okay. So that we have to remember, okay. And now we are starting with the various categories of the taxonomy, okay. Let us see that. Now when we are talking about the taxonomic categories, here we see this taxonomic categories and hierarchy can be illustrated by an example. And first of all, take that example, okay. One example is taken what? That insects, okay. And the basic feature in an insect, you are going to see what is that? All the insects, they will have 6 pair of jointed legs, okay. And you know, the animals which are having jointed appendages, okay, they were kept where? They were kept in the arthropoda, okay. And among the arthropoda, if you see that when there are only 6 legs, so they were kept into what? Insecta, means insects, okay. So like that, here you can see that it means insects are recognizable concrete object which can be classified and thus were given a rank or category, okay. This 6 leg, they have made what? They have made it very specific. That's why they were given the class name, okay. Class is what? Insecta. Phylum is what? Arthropoda, okay. So these two things, jointed appendages and 6 legs, that has made class Insecta, okay. But it is only, if it is only the jointed legs or jointed appendages, then it is what? Phylum or Arthropoda, okay. So here we could know the phylum and we could know about the class, clear. Now here we see that category further denotes rank. Each category, that is representing what? That is representing a rank. And we have seen the hierarchy also. That was starting from the species, then genus, then order, then family, then class, then phylum. So this is ascending order, okay. We have already learned all these things, so we will see that, okay. So these taxonomic groups categories are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregates, okay. So they are not the morphological things, okay. They are specific categories. They are not including whole character. One category does not represent the whole character. That is representing group of characters, Okay, like that. Now let's move to the next part here. So taxonomic studies of all known organisms, what it says, taxonomical studies of all known organisms have led to the development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum or division. Okay, so this phylum or division, that is only for the plants. Okay, this division that represents only the plant. Just suppose I have just told you the name of what? Phylum, Arthropoda. Okay, but this phylum word that will be replaced by the division in plant classification. Okay, and we have already discussed that there are 5 kingdoms in class 11. Okay, so that we will discuss later on. So all organisms, including those in the plant and animal kingdom, have species as the lowest category. So on this part, I have seen many times that in various competitive exams, this specific question is asked that what is the lowest category of taxonomy or the classification? That is what? That is the species. Okay. Then the basic requirement, okay, for the taxonomy is what? Knowledge of characters. Okay, and that will help us to identify that in which category we have to put that organism. Okay. Now here we are going to define all those categories. The first category, that is what? The smallest one is what? Species. And what actually the species is. Okay. Here that this taxonomic study that consider a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities as a species. So all the individuals which are having the fundamental similarity, they will be considered as a species. Okay, just suppose the male and the female of an species, they are also different morphologically, but why they are kept in one category or one species? If you look at morphologically, even in the human beings, you can see the males are different and the females are different. Then why they are kept in same category? Actually, we are talking about the fundamental similarities. Okay, so if the fundamental similarities are there, then that will be considered as a single species. Okay. So second thing, then how we can differentiate from one species to another species? That is what? Distinct morphological differences. Okay. In one species, when it is male and female, although there may be some morphological differences, but they can reproduce and they can give new offsprings. That's why they are considered in one species. But if there are fundamental or morphological differences that are found in between two group of individuals, they will be given or they will be assigned a new species. Okay. Now here you see one example is that is about the Mangifera indica, Solanum tuberosum, that is the Mangifera indica, that is the mango, Solanum tuberosum, that is the potato. Okay, and then Panthera leo. Okay, all the three names, indica, tuberosum and leo, that is representing what? That is representing the species, because I have already told you when there is binomial nomenclature, the second word that will represent what? Species. Okay, or specific epithet. Okay, here each genus may have one or more than one specific epithets. Okay, what does it mean? That just suppose this Panthera. Okay, there Panthera leo is not lion. Similarly, the Panthera pardus. Okay, that is also means Panthera is what? That is a common. So let us see our next category, that is what? Genus, and we can find out it more there. Here you see that Panthera has another specific epithet, that is tigris or This tigris is representing what? Tiger. Panthera leo is what? Lion. And Panthera tigris is what? Tiger. Okay. So tigris and leo both are different species and their morphological characters are also different. Okay. So like that, whenever the second word, if that is changing, that is representing a specific species. The case may be that the genus may remain same, because here you see in Panthera leo, Panthera is a genus, and Panthera tigris, it is also having the same genus, that is the Panthera, but tigris is a different species. Okay. Similarly, human beings belong to the species what? That is the sapiens. Okay, which is grouped into the genus that is Homo. Okay, so like that, one genus that may have many species. Okay. Now, the second category or the taxon, okay, in the ascending order, second category is what? That is the genus. And when we talked about the nomenclature rules, at that time we have seen that the first letter of genus, that will always remain capital. Okay, so this genus comprises a group of related species. Just as we have seen what? Panthera leo and Panthera tigris. Okay, or there is one more thing, that is the Panthera pardus. Okay, so here we see that the genus comprises a group of related species which has more character common in comparison to the species of other genera. Okay, so just suppose there are two genera. In one genera, the most common thing that you will see that they are very closely related to each other, but still they are having different characters. As you see that the lion and tiger, they all come under what? Panthera. So there are certain characters that are common, but the strips that you can see on the body of tiger, but those kind of strips that are not present on the lion. Okay, but still they are in one genus because they are having certain fundamental characteristics that are same in both of them. Okay, one example that is taken here about the genus, that is the potato and brinjal. So potato and brinjal, they are having the same genus. Okay, and that is what? Solanum. Okay, so the Solanum is the genus for potato and brinjal. Similarly, the lion, Panthera leo, leopard, Panthera pardus, okay, and tiger, Panthera tigris. So here this Panthera, that is what? That is the genus, and this genus is having many species, and among those three are given here: lion, that is the Panthera leo, leopard, Panthera pardus, and tiger, that is Panthera tigris. Okay, so they are having many common features. Okay, so this genus differ from another genus, that is what? Phallus. Okay, but the phallus or the cat, they are very different. Okay, so we are going to see now another category where these Panthera, okay, and the phallus both are going to be categorized together. Okay, and the category in which this Panthera and the phallus, they will come together, that is what? That is the family. Okay, so the next family, the next category family has a group of related genera. Okay, with still less number of similarities as compared to the genus and species. They will have certain common characters, but they will be less. Okay, so as we are going from down to upside, what we are looking at, that the common character among themselves, they are decreasing. Okay, so maximum similarity where you can find in genus. Species are all similar, but the maximum similarity where you are going to find, that is the genus. Less than genus, where you are going to find the similarity, that will be in the family. Okay, so families are characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive features. In genus, what we have seen, that is because of apparent or the physical features. Okay, but here we are talking about the vegetative and reproductive features. Vegetative means what? The physical characters. Reproductive means what? How they are reproducing. Okay, so at family level, both type of things will be taken into consideration. Okay, so among plants, for example, three different genera, that is the Solanum, Petunia and Dathuga are placed in the family. That is what? Solanaceae. Okay, and among the animals, you can see that as we have seen in the previous slide also, that Panthera, and Panthera was containing what? Lion, tiger and leopard. Okay, and there was another species, genus, that was the what? Phallus. Okay, so this Panthera and Phallus, they are grouped together into what? The family that is known as what? Phallidae. Okay, so now like that, the common characters, they are decreasing and they are grouped together like this. Okay, now similarly, the family, one family is what? Phallidae. Phallidae is having what? Panthera and Phallus. Similarly, there is one more family, that is the Canidae, and Canidae contains what? It is having the dogs. Okay, like that. Okay, so move to the next part. Then there comes order. Okay, so similar species which are having the many families. Okay, so many families which are having certain common characters. On behalf of those common characters, we are comprising what? We are comprising one order. Okay, so generally order and other higher taxonomic categories are identified based on the aggregates of characters. Okay, aggregates of characters means how much characters they are common in them. Okay, on behalf of this. Okay, and the similar characters are less in number, as I have already told you that maximum number of characters that may be similar at what level? That will be the genus level. Okay, and then as we are going to the upper side, then you will find that they are having what? Less number of characters that are common. Okay, so here we can see the example of the plants as well as the animals. So the family Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae, okay, they are grouped into the order Polymoniales. Okay, similarly, animal order, that will what? Carnivora, that will include what families? Felidae and Canidae. Felidae is what? Cats and panthers. Okay, Panthera leo, Panthera pardus, okay, Panthera tigris, and Felidae means cats. Okay, Canidae means all the dogs. So that's why this whole thing, by common we can call it as a cat and dog family. Okay, like that. Now, next category is that is a class. Okay, so that includes related orders. Okay, so one example, that is a primata that comprises monkey, gorilla, and gibbons. Okay, and they are placed in what class? In the Mammalia. Okay, so class Mammalia, that we have other orders also, but here only one example that has been taken into consideration. Okay, now the next category, that is phylum. In phylum, all the related classes, they will be grouped together. Okay, and the highest category, that is what? That is the kingdom. So all animals belonging to various phyla are assigned to the highest category, that is called as animal kingdom. Similarly, we have seen in plants, what is that kingdom? For plants it will be kingdom Plantae. Okay, like that. So this is the highest category. And here in the next slide we are going to see, this is what? The taxonomic category. Okay, and this is what? This is the ascending order. So we have to very clearly see that once there was a question that was asked about what is the ascending order of taxonomic category. So this species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and kingdom. This is like this. Okay, so this is what? This is the hierarchy. And this is very important, I must tell you. Now the final thing that comes, the most important one, and many times the question that has been asked, that is this table. Okay, and these four names, they are generally used. Okay, they were seen there many times in the NEET. Okay, and their biological name, genus, family, order, class, and phylum and division. These four, they should always be on your tips at least. If an examiner that is going to put any question, either that is generally selecting from this portion or the definition one. Okay, so here we see the first biological name, the common name, that is what? Man. We are Homo sapiens. Here Homo is what? Genus. Okay, family, that is what? Hominidae, order, primata, class, mammalian, phylum, their division, that is what? Chordata. Okay, similarly housefly, that is the Musca domestica. Genus is what? And then species is what? Domestica. Okay, like that we have to remember. Okay, then from which family it belongs to? It belongs to the Mucidae, and order is Diptera, class is Insecta. Okay, and phylum is Arthropoda. Two plant example that has been taken into the NCERT, Mangifera indica. Mangifera is what? Genus, family, Anacardiaceae, order, Serpentiales, class, Dicotyledonine, and phylum, that is Angiospermae. Similarly, we, that is the Triticum aestivum, genus, Triticum, family, Oaceae, order, Oales, class, Monocotyledonine, and phylum, that is Angiospermae. So this is a brief introduction, okay, about various taxonomic categories. And now, based on all these things, I am going to discuss certain questions which were previously asked there in the NEET exam. Okay, so let us begin. Now, this is the question that we have recently seen in the NEET exam. Okay, so X and Y are the component of binomial nomenclature. Okay, just suppose there is a biological classification. Okay, and in that we have assigned a name. Okay, we very well know that in a biological name, it is containing two things. No, one is what? Genus, and another is having what? Species. Okay, so X and Y are the component of binomial nomenclature. This naming system was proposed by Z. So what will be this X and Y? So X is generic name, Y is, Z is it true? Very good. Is it true? X is specific epithet? X is? No, it is generic. X is specific epithet, that is X is generic name, then Y is RH Whittaker. This is wrong. So the correct answer is what? A. Very good. So the correct answer is what? That is A. So like that, very simple question. This was a very recent, I think 2023 question it was. Okay, this is clear now. So the NEET is going to ask question either on the rules and regulations. Okay, like that. Second question, let us see very quickly. So select the correctly written scientific name of mango which was first described by Carolus Linnaeus. Okay, Mangifera indica, Mangifera indica Carolin, Mangifera indica Linn, or Mangifera indica. Which one is the correct one? C. Why it is so? Why it is not B? Why it is not B? What is the problem with the B? Actually, it was told to you that when we are writing the name of authority, only the surname in the abbreviated form, okay, that is written there. Okay, so it is Mangifera indica Linn. That is the correct one. Okay, this is also correct, but this is also not correct because I is what? That is capitalized. Okay. Why it is not correct? Because the authority name Lin is not given there. Okay. So the most appropriate, that is the answer C. Very good. So here we see the correct answer is C. Then now next question. Which of the following is against the rule of ICD? Okay, let us quickly see that handwritten scientific name should be underlined. They should be underlined. Okay. Every species should have a generic name and a specific epithet. That is also correct. Scientific name are in Latin and should be italicized. This is also correct. Generic and specific name should be written starting with small letters. This is wrong because always generic or the genus name that starts with the capital letters. Okay. So this is the thing. So answer D is correct. Now, question: nomenclature is governed by certain universal rules. Which one of the following is contrary to the rule of the nomenclature? Okay. The names are written in Latin and are italicized. This is correct. Okay. When written by hand, the names are to be underlined. That is also correct. Biological names can be written in any language. They should be in Latin only. The first word in biological name represents the genus and the second name is a specific. This is another question. In one year this question was there and in another year the previous question was there. So they were similar questions. Okay. So the option is that is C. Now we are moving to the next question. Which one of the following belongs to the family Mucidae? That is also. Because I have already told you that those four names, okay, and that table, that is very important because generally if they are asking the question now, so they are just repeating all these things only. So option is what? That is the A. Now we move to the next question. Match column 1 with the column 2 of the housefly classification. See here, another question that was there in the NEET, that was from this classification of Musca domestica or the housefly. Okay, so what will be the answer? And I have already told you one trick now, that if you could find two correct things now, then generally what is happening? We can suggest the correct answer. Okay, so I know this class is what? Class is what? Insecta. Okay. So let us see, this class is insecta. So C4. How many times it has been given? C4, 2 times. So these two options they are already omitted. Now see here, what are the things we know? That is phylum Arthropoda. This D2. Where there is D2? So like that we can very easily cut down our precious time also. Okay, to identify the correct answer. So correct answer is what? A, like this. So correct answer is A. Now, sequence of taxonomic categories is. Okay, what is the correct sequence of the taxonomy? Yes, because you know that either that should start from the phylum, okay, or the division, that we know very well. Okay, so here you see that these two options, A, one option that is one, at least because that should start from the phylum. Now from these three options, you know this phylum that is followed by the class, that is one. So A and D gone. Now neck and neck, what is? It is B and C. Division, class, then family, and then order. So which comes first? Order comes first. Okay? And here order is given where? Somewhere else. So correct answer is what? C. Clear? So C is the correct answer. So if we are identifying the question very properly, so we can do any question related to this chapter. Okay, now move to the next one. So C is the correct answer. Okay, Now, so these are the very old type of questions. That ICBN stands for what? Answer is what then? A. So now this is also a very simple question. Linnaeus evolved a system of nomenclature called binomial nomenclature. So I do not have to just do more. Okay. So this is all about the chapter. Okay, the taxonomic categories. Thank you so much.